Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everybody to Marion County Commission meeting, Monday, October 20. Start off with the public forum. Is there anybody from the public that has anything to say? Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
I can make one comment.
State your name. I know everybody knows.
I haven't even stood up. Can I stand up first? I am Arlene Sticker. And as you know, I probably spend a lot of time out at the county lake. One issue that I have still is Lakeshore Drive. Does that belong to the county or does that belong to private residents?
Lakeshore Drive is ours.
Okay, if it's ours, then tell me, why is there a continuation of parking on Lakeshore Drive? That is a dangerous situation. I don't know why you people wait till there's an accident that happens before you'll do anything about it. And that's all I have to say. And that's putting it mildly.
Very good. Is there anybody else? Thanks for keeping it under 3 minutes.
I'd like to be brief.
Anybody online? Hearing none, I'll close public comment. Move on to the agenda approval. I think we got some stuff to add.
Well, the transfer station discussion is going to be postponed till next week. Josh has a conflict today.
Okay.
And I asked Steve and Doug with Road and Bridge to come to talk about an issue that's come up with one of our bridges. So
Just
substitute that in if you don't mind.
Okay.
Executive session, personnel performance,
All right. We can do that
10
with
minutes probably.
sec. Down around Brad's time. 10 minutes. Is it 10 minutes? Any others? All right. Forward with the agenda as noted. Administrative business.
We have the minutes of October 14th.
Anybody have a chance to read the minutes? Any questions or corrections?
I'd like to make an addition. At the end of the comments, if we could put the preceding views on the whole committee's view on the subject, and we don't support everything. But the comments were just one individual, not the whole commission.
I do have on there, Dirk's read the following statement regarding his concerns.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I was trying to make sure that's what it said.
Is that okay, or?
You know, I just wanted
Okay,
to make sure there wasn't a committee decision to
correct, yes.
All right. Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
And a second. All those in favor? Aye.
All right, we have early checks in the amount of $7,637.37.
Is there any questions with any vouchers? If not, I'll make a motion to approve $7,637.37.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0.
That's all I have.
Okay, in your packet, you had my report, and then also attached to that were the snow routes for all that we've received back from all the school districts. So those are all in there by section. So that's just for your information. The next thing that I have was the holiday and payday schedules for your review and approval. Does anybody have questions about any of that information?
Issues with the holiday schedule?
One question I have on New Year's, you get Thursday off, you have to come back for one day.
Well,
I'm sorry, what?
On New Year's,
Oh, yes. Typically, that is what we do. We haven't ever changed that one.
you would swip, not do it on the 19th and do it on
do it on the first and do it on the second, is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Oh.
not have Martin Luther Day.
Well, people probably stay up late on the 31st to ring in the new year, so I think that's typically most places are closed for business on the 1st, and so banks
I know,
and
but
everything else.
How about January 2nd?
You mean to add one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Usually the celebration's usually on the 31st. So that's what they're saying is the first is when they want the day off.
I know that, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure people
Make
wouldn't
it-
object to having an extra day
If
off.
we do away with the January 9th,
Oh, I see.
because it's real close in there.
Yeah. So,
I know it's a legal holiday, but
right.
do we have any say-so in it?
Yes, you do. You
I
have.
didn't know.
You do. The one thing to keep in mind is that on the 19th, that is typically a day that banks are closed, the state will be closed. And so even if we're open, it will be difficult for the treasurer's office to conduct business on that day.
Comment, okay.
So,
Good, good
but
thought.
I mean, it's okay. You do have say, absolutely, on what holidays we have.
Rather than not muddy up
We are,
anything, I will make a motion to move forward with the holiday closing dates for Marion County Courthouse. Got a second? All those in favor? Aye. 5-0.
Dirks?
yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
probably a lot of vacation days that day.
That would be lovely.
Employees always have the option to take that day off and
Yeah.
use their leave if they wanna take that day off, so.
Then the other thing
Payday.
is the payday schedule, yes.
Seeing any issues with the payday?
We're still working on twice a month payday. We talked about that a long time ago.
We haven't brought it up in a while, by twice a month,
Bi-weekly payday.
bi-weekly.
So is that something the board wants to pursue? The last time that I brought it up, the largest department was not really in favor of it. But we can do it. Do you want us to survey the employees, or do you just wanna go with it, or what would you like to do? What's your?
Garbage department's in the room.
Yes. There are a lot of people that get used to budgeting a certain way and a certain amount, so,
Just, I don't know, do you have any trouble with younger recruitment? I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's a hurdle for a lot of them, but
The
then,
first month's tough.
we'll do it however you want to do it.
the only reason why I think we've ever brought it up is early checks and recruitment of younger generation, so that's.
And what is Road and Bridge's comment on it? Could you-
We probably got about 10% that wish it was bi-weekly. The rest are pretty satisfied. But then again, we've got a lot of people that are used to it. Usually the gentlemen that are new and they're coming in, they are notified during the interview of the hiring process, so they're well aware of it. And if they think it's a big conflict, then they can tell me right then and there that, hey, this isn't gonna work for me, and he doesn't accept the job. So, we really don't have much problem.
Yeah, I think we can adjust either way. Are you interested in employee feedback from all the departments, or do you?
Yeah, it's,
Tax. Till next year, let's go ahead and approve it. I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 pay schedule.
we got a motion on the floor.
I'll second
And I got a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
Okay, but do you want me to kind of start
That gives,
getting feedback on that?
if there's interest, we have next year to work on it.
it. We need some groundwork, cause you just can't do it tomorrow,
Okay.
I don't think, can you?
No. There are some processes we'd have to update for sure.
6 months project.
Oh, I'm still me, sorry. The other thing that I have is for the annual meeting for K-Camp that occurs during KAC. They are asking for our voting delegate and alternate for K-Camp for that business meeting. And is that the one that you're on the board? So that would make it to where you wouldn't be able to be voting delegate, I believe.
KAC board.
On the
That
KAC.
includes K-Camp.
Oh, are you on the
Not on the
K-Camp board or
No,
you're
no,
on the KAC?
No, I'm not on the K-Camp.
Okay, so you would be eligible. As of right now, I think that 4 commissioners are going to KAC. Commissioner Crowfoot is not.
You can't just show up for that piece?
Huh?
You can't just show up for that piece?
We're good, fine.
I'll,
Parking spot
I'll-
close to the hotel.
I'll throw my name in that. I'll sit through that thing.
I've done it a couple times already.
It's rough.
And then we need an alternate, and then that would be somebody that you would vote. The board would need to nominate the delegate and the alternate to vote at that meeting.
I would
You
be,
wanna do it?
I'll
I'll make a
You
motion.
want the delegate or you want the alternate?
be alternate.
I'll make a motion to have Jonah sit in as a K-Camp with Clark as an alternate for the annual meeting.
A motion.
Second it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. Isn't there the other one too? You got-
I don't have the one for K-Work yet. Have you seen it?
It's usually the same.
It was,
It can be, but they have them at the same time, don't they? Or is it one after the other?
One after the other.
Same,
I think it's
one after the other, I think.
You don't leave the room.
Do you want to take action on that one now too, so that when we get the form, we can just fill it out?
Just
K-Work is our workers' compensation pool. So this one is our,
You two. You wanna be the-
I'll do that one and you be the
you
alternate.
know, that way you're already there.
I'll take the early one. Yeah. All right.
so would you want to make a
I'll make
motion?
that a motion.
All right.
Second it.
We got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Okay, thank you.
Preemptive.
Great. I don't have anything else right now.
So. Road and Bridge.
Well, actually, I do have a reminder that tonight is the graduation, and a couple of you are signed up to come, just making sure that you're still coming. And then on the 23rd, we have the regional dinner and roundtable. Okay,
That one
Time.
was at
It's in
6.
Delphos.
and Delpho's at 6, yes.
What's the time this evening to make sure?
6.
6, that's what I thought it was. Wife was
Alright.
supposed to.
Okay.
Mike, are you going to the Sunflower Theater tomorrow? No. So it's just,
Not if I got my combine ready, I'm gonna cut beans.
okay, so it's just me and Ken. So you don't have to put out a public notice. Okay, now Road and Bridge.
Are you ready? This falls under do not shoot the messenger. Had a meeting scheduled this morning with a representative of an engineering firm that worked with KDOT through a 10-year process of evaluating every bridge in the state of Kansas. Obviously, McPherson or Marion had their bridges evaluated, and I found out this morning that the bridge that you see here, bridge number 204, actually has been flagged for closure, which is a required closure by KDOT, and they're giving us a full week to close it down. The base on each side is completely eroded away. They're claiming that it wouldn't even hold 3 ton right now. So it is, in KDOT's estimation and the engineer, it is a true safety hazard bridge.
Okay. Hands are kind of tied on that.
There doesn't seem to be any leeway.
So I'm curious, the legal process for that, if, I mean, would they be able to take an action for an emergency closure today and then follow a statutory process to officially close the portion of roadway?
Yeah, we'd normally go through several extra steps that wouldn't be able to be accomplished today if it were not an exigent circumstance. But given what's being said and communicated to us, I think you could go ahead and do it on that basis, follow it with the paperwork necessary.
Does everyone see on, I've given you all the map, a little map there. It says the proposed bridge closure, and it shows the location of it. It's kind of hard to see, but.
We have one resident that is just south on the east side of Remington, and one access for a wind tower. And at this point, we're anticipating taking road closure signs on both 120th and 130th, and even as an additional step, placing fill or some sort of scrap fill dirt material across both lanes on both sides of the bridge, just to prevent anybody being curious and trying to drive over it. KDOT will have a new round of bridge grants available. Unfortunately, the application period isn't until June or July of 2026. However, since this was an imminent closure and a required closure, it would score high for our application. So it would be a question to the commission as to the timing of how quickly we want to repair that. If you want to repair that without any sort of grant dollars associated with it, at this point, it would come fully out of the county budget.
And we don't have an estimated cost on that at this point.
No, I do not have anything.
It's a lot of traffic.
A lot, not really. It would be classified more as local, not as through. Obviously, people on that road, it's a lot.
Well, yeah.
And fortunately, most of the corn's out. We still got beans coming out. So it is an inconvenience, but from a safety and a hazard standpoint, and legally, I don't really think we have a choice.
Yeah, we haven't looked at it yet as far as it being a school route either.
Yeah.
We could have looked at that, but since short notice and all this, we wanted to get it to your guys' to the table first of all. But one thing I just want to realize is this is just a temporary deal, not a permanent closure.
And we don't know if it's a school route or not, or
We probably go back and look at those school routes we just had on.
I just provided the section maps.
Yeah, it would be section 7. Or
County?
Is a temporary shoe fly very feasible at all in that location?
Yeah, 7 or 11, he thought.
It floods there quite a bit. I know one time we had so much drift and 3 dead cows in it that it plugged her up pretty good. So I don't believe that. Put something in there.
Between 7 and 11.
Let's go section 10.
There you go. Remington, 130th. No, it is not.
Right there it is.
It is not a bus route.
So we're clear on that.
All right, I will make a motion to propose an emergency closure of what bridge number?
It's number 204.
204 on Remington Road.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Emergency closure.
All All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Thank you.
And then we would come back with options or?
One question on that, inspection report. I know back in 2014, they had a cost estimate of $260,000. I'm not sure if that's good here.
I wouldn't trust the 10-year-old quote.
Well, I wouldn't either. But my question is, you know, are we doubling that or at least, is this something that we could look at putting an inverted culvert in?
We can look at options and bring back,
Catlin Navigable.
options. I'm sorry?
Catlin Navigable.
Yes.
So the culvert is out.
And then, yeah, the containers, railroad containers wouldn't work.
Yeah, without getting permits and all that.
It's a navigable waterway. We can't do the
We
simple
found
thing.
that out the hard way.
Yeah.
So we'll have, the department will look at options and bring back.
Yep.
Be back at 2 o'clock.
Do we need?
I'll have that written in half an hour. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Some kind
Hold on,
of,
Steve.
since it's temporary, some kind of a review date.
Oh.
For us to look at it again.
Sample time.
I don't know if we're looking at those elements of things.
What's ample time if we're gonna set a review date?
For alternatives in terms of, it's temporary closure, it's done on an emergency basis. We're just looking to put something on the agenda so that we have a record of, and a paper trail of what we're doing.
As far
I was
as,
wondering 30 days maybe.
That's bad.
30 days be enough?
yes, that should be fine.
Not 30.
So.
We got
Do we need a resolution for that?
BG consultants
Mhm.
also,
I'll-
Could we do that for next?
Next meeting.
not necessarily him.
Identify it and.
Why don't we use that north?
That's all. We just wanna make sure we asked you what ample time was.
17th.
Can I ask a question? Landowner notification in the area, is that something that, can the department let the landowners know, or how do we need to notify? As far as just what's
Do
happening?
you want an official letter to each individual, or do you want just something posted on Facebook or something?
Oh,
No, I think a letter and the posting would be good. Yeah,
Within what radius?
a mile.
3 counties? I'm kidding.
And land ownership, not just residents.
Yes. Mapping can help get those.
Okay. I'll see you in a month. Alrighty. Had a schedule. Alright, schedule, should we go ahead and 10-minute issue?
Sure.
Mine
Yours to fill the gap.
are 10 minutes.
I didn't,
What do we need to fill in? So,
it'd be,
Go ahead and make it 15 now, we can come out early.
okay,
do you want me to fill it in?
sure.
Okay.
Better to prove to be right. Personnel, elected personnel. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss the job performance of specific employees pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item number 2, consultation with our attorney and matters, no, it's
Number
number
one.
one.
I'm marked
For personnel matters and non-elected personnel.
Yes, sir.
That's. I wasn't gonna second guess it though.
My fault.
With the board, Brad, and Tina, until 1:10. Open session to resume back in commission chambers following the closed session. Second. Got a second? All in favor? Aye. 5-0.
Ladies first.
Well, I know, but.
Oh,
they
you're a
wouldn't go.
lady.
Out of executive session, no decisions made. Sharon. We tabled this first part, application for the short-term rental. You know if we have many changes to meet,
Yes. I sent out an email and I'll go ahead and hand these out. I have a memo I can share with you. Along with some information that was talked about last week. Would you like for me to read this email, since most of you may not have had an opportunity to review it yet?
what's that house?
Another copy of that? I didn't get it.
Clark, did you get one?
I got it online, never mind, it's all here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever you feel comfortable
Okay.
with.
Sure. Okay, so case PC 2504, an application for a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental at 30 Lakeshore Drive filed by Dustin and Denny Rainey was considered for final determination by the governing body on October 14th. After proper notice in the official newspaper, property owner notifications to owners within 1,000 feet of the property in question per statute KSA 12757B. Notification to the Marion County Lake Improvement District Number 2. A public hearing was held before the Marion County Planning Commission on September 25th of 2025, and 14-day protest period following the public hearing. A majority of the members of the Planning Commission present and voting at the hearing made a recommended approval for the conditional use permit with certain conditions. There were no protest petitions filed prior to the case going before the governing body. On October 14th, the governing body tabled the case after discussion concerning policy objectives. In my professional opinion, these are two separate issues. The applicant filed for the CUP under the existing regulations and should be considered as such. Concerning the issue of occupancy, the e-commerce platform website has been updated to state 8 guests as required by the board. I respectfully request that the VOCC consider the conditional use permit application as it applies under the existing regulations. If the board wishes to consider text amendments to the policies that they have previously voted on and adopted, then that should be handled on a separate agenda item, respectfully. So if you turn the page, I just printed off their platform on Airbnb has been updated to show 8 guests, 3 bedrooms, 4 beds, 3 baths. And then also a copy of the short-term rental registration. I think there was a little bit of question about what was on that annual registration and what was not.
That hadn't been provided to us in the past.
Sorry?
That hadn't been provided to us in the past, this short-term rental registration agreement. It wasn't in the original packet that you submitted, and I've never seen this before, so.
So, in your opinion, they meet all of our regs?
According to the regulations that are current and effective, yes.
There was a letter from Improvement District. I just wonder if that,
Greg Wyatt.
yeah, I don't know if everybody had a chance to read that. It basically had some concerns about their sewer loads and stuff like that, but
Which shouldn't affect this one because his grandfathered in.
these guys are trying to do it the right way.
That's for the next conversation, Greg.
This one really wasn't grandfathered in, it was never permitted.
Application.
Are you talking about under the current regulations? Is that what you mean? Yeah. You're right, it's not grandfathered as far as use,
It had
but
never been permitted, and they were supposedly renting that to 12 to 15 at a shot. To me, I've heard it's called the party house, that's all I know, because it was so crowded with young people.
but I think that the applicant right now is trying to apply for
Yeah.
conditional use
Yeah,
under
no,
the
hold
current
nothing against the new
regulations.
applicant,
New owner.
trying to do it right.
And I understand they had guests there this weekend. At one time there were 11 or 12 cars parked on the county lake side of Lakeshore Drive. Which,
No camping permits, which I think is the reg.
whether they had
Were they
camping.
past 11 o'clock?
I'm not talking about the parking, but they were obviously more than, our regulations say it's limited to the registered guests. And if there's 11, 12 cars parked, there's obviously more than 8 people there.
The only way that could be policed would be by the owner of the Airbnb.
And that was part of our concerns last week was, was there any, do we know that, that all these conditions are met? Was it inspected? Do they have 2 forms of egress for each sleeping room? Is everything on this permit been inspected to ensure that, are they saying, are you taking their word that they've met this, or, we had the discussion, how are we gonna police this? How are we gonna ensure that?
Can I answer that question? So typically, they would apply for the ability to use the property as such first, and then it would go through, if they're granted the ability to use the land as a short-term rental, then they would, this is given to them when they apply, so they know what to expect. However, this is like a building permit. You wouldn't necessarily apply for a building permit prior to getting approval to use the land as such. So they would get a conditional use permit first and then be required to sign this. We do an inspection and then issue a certificate of occupancy if these items are met.
So basically, we were just in the first stage with this to get set up, I guess, for approval.
Yeah, this is just a land use issue. This is saying, is this land suitable for a short-term rental? According to the regulations that are in place at this time.
And then if we need to change, what article is this one? That governs these.
Article
19.
19.
And if we were to make changes, then they would have to step up to that to get the CUP renewed, right? Correctly.
Oh, right, for all of the short-term rentals, this is an annual registration, so they have to renew this every single year. that gives the county the ability to interject certain conditions or stipulations as necessary and reasonable. We have to give them a reasonable amount of time to comply. So if the county were to, say the county wanted to start enforcing building code and have a building inspector, and there were certain items that you wanted to see put on this list, we could do that and then give them a reasonable amount of time to comply with that. This gives the ability to make some small changes, yet not completely void or suspend the CUP based on changes in our policy.
We have a fee for this initial application that they have to post
For the conditional use permit,
to even start this process. Their fee and upfront.
for the conditional use permit application is $200. And then they have to reimburse all of the publication fees and postage that goes out. That's for the public hearing notice and the resolution.
I think with the interest in Airbnbs at the county lake, it might be time to direct the planning and zoning board to look at those regs again. Either that or, I mean, with the amount of money these people are making off of them, we're gonna have some, there are gonna be more, some more stricter regs, maybe going down to 6 people, no parking on Lakeshore Drive, those kind of things. Depending on what the commission wants, but I'm not saying it affects this one, but going forward, I think you're gonna have to start looking at some of that, because a lot of these people are looking at these properties and that's what they're looking at them for, because they're so lucrative.
So, anyway.
Getting back to Greg's comments, I mean,
The infrastructure.
the infrastructure does not support this.
That's true. When you start loading up those houses with all those people.
And I think they said that they've done research. Denny sent me some information. They have the statistics on that. Their vacancy rate is 85%. So,
They're just renting it
you
on.
figure if you have a full-time family versus 8 people there every weekend, I mean, you've got some.
Downtime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably during the winter it's more that way, but
Right.
in the summertime it's probably full.
And I think the occupancy rate at the lake itself is, there's a lot of those homes are second homes and they're only occupied on the weekends.
There's
So
more,
then you add this to it, and the cumulative effect may not be a big impact, but the short-term impact. You got a weekend when everybody's out at the lake house, that's when the issues arise.
It'd be nice to know how many those out there are second homes, how many's primary residence.
and you got more full-time residents than you did 10 years ago.
We'll pull it back. They meet our regs, in your opinion. I don't know how we deny. If they fit the box, we'll have to let them
Yeah,
go.
that's why I'm saying going forward, it might be time to look at those.
But if we wanna change the box, then we need to change the box, but we can't change the box in the midstream of.
Right. They applied under what they thought we were expecting from them, so to change the rules in the
Yeah,
middle
we
of the
can't
game
change
is
the
a
rules
little
on that
bit.
one, but going forward, we can.
Sure.
I mean, I don't have a problem with the rules as they stand. My issue is that they need to comply with these before we issue the permit. Not issue the permit and then say, oh,
Like you brought up last week, they were obviously had 12 listed instead of 8. Some things
So the
that,
complaints I've heard the most is the limited parking on this particular resident causing problems.
Well, if you have 12 or 15 people out there, it's gonna be a lot of vehicles.
That's the complaint I've heard the most
It's up
of.
to law enforcement then.
yeah, that's, I deal with it once a year in Hillsborough, but it's legal street parking. It's a nightmare, but it's legal street parking, so nothing I can do about that. So,
But you could control the parking on Airbnbs
yeah, you could,
under your regs.
Well, we do. This clearly states a maximum of 8 guests and may not be rented or offered as a reception space, party space, meeting space, or other similar events open to non-resident guests.
and then in the CUP, it spells out that they can only use the 2 parking spaces.
Correct.
The concrete
So
area.
once we approve that, then they have to stick to that.
Yes, I mean, I can see where, unless you're out there at the lake watching how many cars are pulling up there, I don't know how you're going to police
Well,
that.
that,
but yeah.
and that's the issue, that's the issue that I'm hearing from the landowners out there that are calling me and sending me pictures of all these cars parked. And our regulations say that that's not permitted.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you would have to go and ask them, are you, would it go knock on the door and find out whether those are guests of that house or not? I'm not quite sure about that. That might be something that,
Move your car.
yeah, I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I just don't know how we can police that, I guess.
So if we can't police it, we should not permit it.
Could we authorize park personnel to put a little notice in the windshield, say, move your car, since we can't really police it?
Well, then that becomes,
It's a burden on our,
that's a burden on the county.
Yep.
Um,
but I mean, if they're out there anyway, but
Find the original packet with the recommendations.
Said before, the vehicle parking is what I've heard the most issue on any of this. If we need to address something, how to address it more properly would be the thought of to keep the most people the most unhappy.
So we need to
You have any
approve this
suggestions,
one,
Brad?
then send it to
Do you have a suggestion to any of this?
planning and zoning.
Just more issues with it. I agree with Sharon, you need to act on this one, but in terms of rewriting it, getting to Clark's point as well, you allow a maximum of 8 who are supposed to be residents there. Great. Got a set of parents who've spent a fortune putting a kid through Tabor. Not that Tabor is a fortune, but I mean, they've spent a lot of time and they're at graduation. They come there with the siblings. They've got 8 in the house. They match that requirement. You got 24 relatives who live within driving distance who are coming on graduation day. They're going to be there the night before, the day of, and the day after. Not necessarily staying there, but they're going to be surrounding that property, using the facilities, using having an outdoor barbecue and all of these events. They're going to park somewhere. You're going to run into all kinds of issues with this. Enforcement has been a constant problem. But then do you, if you're going to say, well, we really can't, practically speaking, enforce this well, given the spirit and nature of what culturally an Airbnb is, we disallow it as a use, that's the thing you're going to run into. How do you handle that? Don't have a suggestion for an answer to that. I hear it all the time.
Make sure they park off the blacktop.
And you can, again, those who are actually renting it, we can address it to that degree. if you have guests here for 3 hours for a small barbecue or luncheon or whatever, they must comply with certain parking requirements. And that may be basically impossible for them to do. Because I want them off of the lake shore. I want them on private property. If they're on private property, not on the grass, some hard surfaced area, well, we've got the ability to say now we don't allow 27 parking stalls on the front lawn of the property. So you can address it, but.
I mean, there's places in the county where that requirement, if somebody's got a farmhouse and your nearest neighbor is a quarter mile away, I don't care how many people are out there, as long as they're not doing anything illegal. Here where you've got houses 10 feet on either side and you've got landowners, you get residents, I got a call from one who said, you know, they left the lights on, shining in their bedroom all night long, 10 feet away. The appropriateness of that. I mean, those are the complaints I'm hearing.
And logical, predictable ones, and
Right.
happen with some frequency. What it gets to is the problem of that enforcement again. It's going to fall to the county, because they're going to complain about it. Yeah, we can get a hold of the owner, but not at that very moment.
Right.
In most cases, so I just hear it a lot. So I'm just raising it in terms of it's a challenge to regulate it in a way that is going to be enforceable and manageable.
In the past, Sharon, have any applications out there been denied based on proximity of neighbors? I heard a rumor that there was one several years ago that was actually denied because the neighbors felt it was too close. And I'm not sure, that's a rumor that I heard, I just wondering.
I don't believe any have been denied. We had the very first couple, we actually were developing the regulations for short-term rentals. So that was a little bit of a process and some back and forth on policy, but I don't believe any of them have been denied.
Like I say, it was, just something that was told me, but I didn't know, so. But again, our current regulations say it's not open to non-resident guests. And how are we gonna police that?
Any of these applications be denied based on setback, because we've got so many setback issues out there right now from years gone by. You know, like you said, there's a lot of properties out there that don't meet setback requirements because they built right on top of the setback.
Yeah, but apply for the setbacks. It was just built.
Their house is built on other people's lots.
And there were some of the houses there before plat was even placed on it,
Yeah.
so they placed plat lines over
So
structures. Yeah, it's kind of a mess in that regard.
on this issue, it's they fit within their regulations after being notified that they needed to make a few changes. Parking is being addressed in the CUP. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve with staff recommendations on PZ 25-04.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Just based on the complaints that I've heard, so.
It's fine, Clark. You don't have to justify it.
I think that we need to have on the agenda soon to try to direct planning and zoning to revisit those regs with some additions to them.
Make that a motion.
I would make that a motion.
We're going with a motion.
Can you repeat
I
that?
make a motion to direct planning and zoning to revisit those regs with some more restrictive language when it comes to number of people and, parking on Lakeshore Drive. I'd like to see it totally restricted for the Airbnbs. Let them find a place to park somewhere off the street. And I'd like to see it go to 6, just because of infrastructure issues that we might have down the road.
So what if someone decides to have a party? Report people, make sure drive.
You think
Guy
about,
owns a house.
think about your own family, if you were gonna use your own property. I know what you're getting at.
And
You can have 2 sets of rules.
Because there's gonna be more of them out there, because they're moneymakers.
the difference is that this is not a private residence. The lake lots are zoned as single-family residence. Now, I realize that the state policies say that Airbnbs of a certain size can still be zoned R1, but they are a commercial venture. And we should have the ability.
We don't tax them as commercial.
We don't tax them as commercial, but we should be able to police those as a commercial.
I don't know if that's been addressed in
Not
any other counties that
But they do pay sales tax
It has.
and the bed tax.
They do pay tax.
They pay the bed tax too.
defer to county council on taxation issues.
And I'm not suggesting we go to the taxation route, but
Yeah,
there is a stipulation in that policy that if they don't comply with our regulations, they can be taxed as commercial.
We got a motion on the floor.
Yeah, we need a clarification on
Yeah.
your motion.
I would just like to make a motion to revisit those regs and see if it's more appropriate to lower the number from 8 to 6.
How about just simply saying, including all applicable elements of Article 19, including but not limited to that, and particularly to address intensity of use.
Okay.
It depends on the bedrooms.
Are you clear on that, Sharon?
Particularly as it relates to intensity of use.
If you got 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, you could have 8 people.
Got a motion on the
That'd be
table.
my motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
second it? Alright. All those in favor?
See if they bring that to us.
We do have a resolution that needs to be adopted for the approval of that, so.
I make a motion to approve the resolution number 2025-16. Resolution granting conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental at 30 Lakeshore Drive, Marion, Kansas.
Second it.
Got a second. Going on. Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
It is, it basically validates the previous.
It's adopting the recommendation of planning and zoning for this particular application.
Any other discussion? You wanna see this?
Sign it.
I got a motion, I got a second. Pass that on for discussion purposes. Just to be sure.
That would have been in your packet last time.
Good, Mike?
Everybody keep it, so I vote on it.
Yeah. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye. I do think this should be contingent upon verification that all regulations are met, but
Technically it is.
It is.
If they're not complying next year, they can revoke.
If, for example, tomorrow there's, okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and double check all of that and we find that there's something not there, CUP can be suspended forthwith, so.
I want to talk more about code enforcement officer at some point.
This is one of the few types of conditional use permits that we have the ability to go back and review that annual registration and suspend or revoke a CUP on the spot, basically. The other ones have to go through that
The appeal
same
process.
quasi-judicial process through public hearing. Same as the process that they went through to get the CUP. So that gives us a little more flexibility.
If there's an extreme violation occurring constantly, we can stop it.
Yeah.
Prematurely before end of the date specified, I guess.
Okay, so
The,
clear as mud, revisit 19. Make sure the board thinks about whether or not it needs to be more stringent.
the other item that I put on under planning and zoning today was the next steps on the Article 27 review. Since legal counsel has made the legal review and brought it back to the commission, I believe that the commission now needs to take action to send it back to planning and zoning with the legal review. I don't believe that's occurred yet, so.
I would like to direct planning and zoning, I'll make a motion to direct planning and zoning to revisit Article 27 after attorney review.
To now initiate their review. They had it initially in March or April. You directed that they review this and come back with recommendations. They came back and asked that it be reviewed from the legal perspective, which I did and then reported back to you. Now it's basically, okay, now you've gotten what you requested. We're reiterating and renewing our request to go forward with the formal review by planning and zoning.
So the wording is right then.
The wording is fine. So we want planning and zoning to, a motion is to direct planning and zoning to re-review Article 27, now knowing that all the text is legal and valid. And the body to take up item by item.
I'll second that. Although I don't think we ever rescinded our initial request that they review it. It was postponed, not revoked by their request for review. But I second that motion.
Okay. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. All right. Oh. All right. Thank you, Sharon.
Anything else for me?
Somehow we finished before the 1:45 mark, which is
Great.
all right. I'm gonna go to the next item and let somebody else have it. This. All right. To the county commission security discussion. I'm not sure who wants to take the lead on that one.
I wanted to brought it up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So just to revisit that, we have security for district court. We've never provided any security for the commission or the commission room. And I think it'd be appropriate in the world that we live to have some. And I would think that the sheriff could take care of that rather than hiring private security. Just be for the duration of the meeting, from 30 minutes prior to the meeting till the duration.
Conversation with Jeff from me was that the only problem is he's 3 officers down at the moment. What would be the only issue he had.
What was that again?
He's 3 officers down at the moment.
He's already shorthanded.
Just make them.
plenty of excuses, that's all I ever hear is excuses, so.
I know there's plenty of people that may not like me, but I don't think any of them are gonna take it out on me.
We also have people that are stationed over there. We have a jailer, we have an
I think you make it
undersheriff.
priority. Have somebody available.
You guys, if you're good about not having any, so be it. I just brought it up for discussion.
I'd like to have that discussion with Jeff and see what the options are. The alternative is for
Have a meet with us or something.
us to start packing, which I'm perfectly willing to do that.
That's really,
All right.
I mean,
take care of yourself.
We don't like to have concealed carry in the courthouse, so.
Well, like I said last week, I can walk right into the House chambers. Right through security. Nobody stops me.
Another option would be if you wanted to, you could contract for it.
I don't think the taxpayers, we pay a pretty good fee to take care of court. You
So
know,
when's that guy here, this one?
Stay on the same.
It varies. It varies based on their schedule, and then we don't always make public knowledge what
Right.
days and times they're here, just
And
because.
court request also sometimes.
But I mean, even adding a little bit to that contract, I mean, on days that they're here, they don't mind coming down here as long as they're not needed in court at the same time, so.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to see what they would charge, but it seems to me like a sheriff could provide it for as part of their duties.
3 hours a week. Even if they weren't here the whole time, if they just make a presence
Sure.
I'm not gonna shut the conversation down.
in and out, so, I mean, I think it's something we could visit with Jeff about and just see if, even if it wasn't, like I say, even if it wasn't all the time, but have a presence occasionally, just so that nobody knew when or where there would be a deputy on site. Sometimes that's all it takes to prevent an incident.
Deterrence is usually the best.
Is the potential that there is somebody on site. If it doesn't happen every week, if it doesn't happen for the whole time, if we in rural counties sometimes live with blinders on. I'm just saying that, just a sporadic presence might be all it takes.
Yeah. I'm not saying they couldn't run back across the street.
They don't have to be here.
Something comes up and there's nobody around that looks like a
They don't have to be here
threat.
the whole time, they don't have to be here every week, but if they pop in random times,
Okay with that.
just
Check the crowd.
and, not frisking everybody as they walk in the door, but just having an officer presence.
Yeah.
As a former law enforcement officer, I know that officer presence is a big deterrent.
Yeah, sure.
And if it's, if he's here for 30 minutes, as people are walking in, sometimes that's all it takes. But I think that's a discussion we should have with Jeff and see if we can't.
Get my code enforcement officer, Mondays he can be in here with his badge. Cause he'll be under the sheriff's department, either way. No, I'm not opposed to keeping the conversation open. If that's what people feel like they need, then
I guess we could talk to the sheriff. Or an agenda item.
10 minutes ahead of the next scheduled item.
Not necessarily in 10 minutes, no.
You haven't heard yet?
Gonna do the real estate, real estate acquisition that's on the agenda. We might need, let's see.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there any board reports? Kind of skipped over that earlier.
Mine's not till this afternoon, so I don't have anything until next week.
It's not till next week.
I'm hoping mine's not Wednesday. If it is Wednesday, then I am completely booked this week.
Good for you. You're a young guy, you can handle it.
Sense of being one.
Wednesday's the only day I got open this week. It's the only day.
You can take a quick
I
break.
keep telling my son, he was complaining about all the hours.
Okay.
I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss real estate acquisition pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item number 6 for preliminary discussion of acquisition of real estate with board, Brad and Tina until 2:02. With open session resumed back in commission chambers following the closed session. Okay. All in favor? Aye. 5-0. Out of executive session, no decisions. Move right on to our 2 o'clock, which we are now 3 minutes past. Give us, Aaron.
Well, good afternoon. Most of what I want to address has to do with the comments from the last meeting, but just want to give you an update on the rest of the stuff too. So, number one, our contracts are written for the project. So anything that occurs with a project is included for us contractually. Whether that means it's the design, inspection, anyway, all through anything. If there's a warranty work comes into play, yes, it's our responsibility to help out during warranty work. So I know that question was asked. That's where we're at. So yes, I also want to mention on that in the projects we've been involved with so far, the bigger ones here in Marion County was 330th, the asphalt projects, those 4 roads, and on 290th. We've never billed for our time during that warranty work period. We don't feel like it's the responsibility of the taxpayer to cover that warranty work for our part. Okay, so we don't invoice that out even though we're contractually obligated to do it. That's the way we handle that, the contractual piece. In regard to those warranty items, I'll start with the 140th project first. On 140th, both times that we've gone out to do warranty work on that with the contractor, we've had personnel on site while that warranty work's being done. Bryce was out there with the contractor doing the work, IDing the spots with Steve ahead of time, and then also out there when they were doing the work during the repairs. I want to say on that particular project, that project included Quail Creek, Timber, Old Mill, and 140th. And we ended up doing 94,600 square yards of asphalt on that project, various depths on the different roads. The 140th is the only one that needed any warranty work on those patches down there, and we did a total of 222 square yards of patching on that road. And what we do is we go at it about month 6 on all of our projects. And then sometimes, depending on the project itself, we'll go back around month 10, but we definitely hit it in that 11th month, right before. Now, with both of these, on the 140th job, we only drove it the 6th month, went back and looked at our notes. We only did it the 6th month, and then Steve actually brought it to our attention right after month 11. It was about 11 months and about 10 days. So we have a full 1 year, so that one, we caught the original one. The second time they came back and patched, that was started failing well after the 12-month period. But the contractor went ahead, because it was the same failure was going on as what they repaired, only in just the next little spot up. So they came back out and patched that one too. So, but like on 290th, I've gotten in my notes, we drove it at 6 months. None of those problems were occurring at 6 months. We drove it right at the 10-month mark and they weren't occurring. It wasn't until about 11 months and once again about that 10 to 15 days that they really started showing up, and then they started failing bad. They were identified to the contractor before the 12-month period. That's why they came out and took a look at them. There were 3 spots that went bad on that project up there. The 2 of those 3 were contractor install issues of the culverts. And they just didn't get good enough compaction around those culverts when they were doing them. So that's why we had the pavement was starting to fail. So when we had those 2 spots redone, we had them completely dig it out. In fact, the one, they completely reset the pipes all the way across the road, recompacted. We came back up, brought it back up, put the asphalt patches over both of those. The only difference from the original construction is now it has an AB material clear to the bottom of the asphalt versus before it was the 12-inch cement treated base. So now we just don't have cement treated base under those 2 patches, it's AB material. But then the asphalt was put back in. In fact, on both of those 2 patches, the rest of our asphalt on that road is 2-inch. It's either 2 or 3. Forgot to look that up. 2 or 3. Those particular patches now have 6-inch in those patches on those 2. The third patch area is a smaller one that was only like a 6x6 patch. That one, the road was starting to develop on a pothole. We dug that one clear down. We actually over excavated almost 3 feet deep. And when we got down to about 2.5 feet, which was well below our cement treated base, we found one of those conditions like we see in a lot of the county where the rock shelf was there and we had water coming out of the rock shelf. And that's what caused that cement treated base to stay mushy and therefore start to develop a pothole. In that particular case, we went ahead and had the contractor dig it out a foot deeper, fill it with AB material. So once again, now as that water hits, is like we've discussed even on the other part of 140th, as that water hits that rock shelf, comes out of there, it now has a weep spot to go down. So it won't allow that water to impact the cement treated base in that area anymore. Once again, that asphalt patch is over 6 inches deep on the asphalt itself. When we did the patches, KDOT does not allow me to do this on a KDOT project, but when you do our non-KDOT projects, our intent is to overfill the asphalt a little bit. Now typically that means we keep it about a 1/2 inch up if we can, knowing the traffic and time are going to pack that thing down, so we'd rather have a little bit of a mound to begin with than a sink. On those particular patches up there, we had requested the contractor come in with a milling machine or the grinder before we even patched that. So in that particular case, I said, hey, let's leave it up even just a little bit more. So we weren't as worried that day we patched that it was going to be sticking up. In fact, I wanted it sticking up so that when we came back on with the grinder that day I was in here at the commission meeting that was going on, we could grind smooth and we didn't end up with any dips in the road. Plus, that grinding occurred about 2.5, 3 weeks after we patched, had plenty of time for the heavier traffic to pack down that asphalt. That's the biggest problem we have with asphalt patches, no matter where you do them, no matter when you do them, is traffic will pack it better than we, because you can't put a big roller on it. And so by having a patch, no matter what the size is, you're not going to get the same density you got in all the rest of the asphalt. So if we leave it up a little bit, let traffic help us out packing it down, then we bring in the grinder, we can grind it smooth. We were on site for the grinding. When it started that morning, I was out there and then I came into the commission meeting that day. And then we went back out after. So no, we were not with them 100% of the time they were grinding, but we were on site and checked each patch. And checking those patches, what the spec calls for is 1/4 inch and 10 feet. That's the tolerance for any of our pavements. So you put a 10-foot straight edge on the thing, and if you get a 1/4 inch up or down from that variance, that's when the patch would not meet the criteria to stay, and they'd have to do something else to it. So the comments of these patches are inadequate, I'd sure like to know, Mike, what criteria you're using to say inadequate, because I'd be more than happy to check it against whatever criteria you've got calling it inadequate to see if we need to do something else to it. So, but that's,
Well, was, the first comment you made is that it was filled greater than the surface.
yes.
It already had a dip in it before they went up there to grind it, and yes, they ground it smoother.
There was one little spot that had a dip in it, and we pushed the grinder further back up on the other asphalt, just enough to shave out that little dip. And that was just one of them that had that, yes.
That 6x6 patch that you're talking about in the middle of the road, they didn't get it smooth with all their efforts.
It meets the 1/4 inch and 10-foot criteria, which is what the entire roadway meets. We can, in future projects, if you want a tighter criteria, we can. I mean, we can, anytime we change the criteria for smoothness, in other words, a KDOT highway. KDOT highway has much tighter specs than 1/4 inch per 10 feet. And so when a contractor gets done with that, they have to plan on bringing the grinder in and run the whole entire roadway now on a KDOT project. I mean, we did that on Kansas, that concrete road. Fortunately, there's only about 10 spots in that entire 2 miles on Kansas that had to be ground. We got that close. But once again, that's only a 1/4 inch per 10 feet. Once you get into KDOT work, and the reason they end up with so many grind marks on so many of these highways now is because their tolerances are even tighter because it's a higher speed. So we can go 1/4 inch per 10 foot is kind of the standard for a 55 mile an hour road. We can make it smoother. We can make it a lot smoother. But you're gonna pay for it in the construction method or the grinding to get that. So I'm more than happy to change it. We just have always used the standards. If you want better than the standards, I'm more than happy to give Marion County the better than the standards. Those couple of cracks.
My semi has made multiple trips over that road. Before you did anything, after the patches and since the grinding. My steering wheel will tell me that this is not smooth.
If I had a way to have your steering wheel give me a criteria I could grade against Mike, I would be more than happy to.
Well, to put it bluntly, I think it was a half-assed patch job and a half-assed grinded job. And when I went there, nobody was there. That's from
You're right. I was in here and then we went out later that day.
They were still grinding on it when I went by.
I was on site and I've got pictures to show we were on site at each patch while the machine was there. Now, maybe I wasn't there the exact minute you drove by and I apologize for that. But I didn't think it was worth the taxpayer time for me to watch 2 hours of grinding that was being done to spec.
It's worth, in my opinion, that
I know the questions come up on both this project as well as a few years back on 330th with those longitudinal cracks. And I know there are some theories out there. Everybody's got different theories about why those cracks happen. On 330th, we had the same type of thing happen in a couple spots. It happened once where there was a set of trees, but it also happened twice where there were no trees on top of a hill. In those cases up on 330th, we actually had the contractor remove that asphalt in 2 of the spots. Remove that asphalt because we wanted to see what was going on. And in both those cases, that crack never translated down into the cement treated base. The crack was only in the asphalt. We checked the third one that we did not remove, the same thing. We opened up a couple holes so we could actually get our scope down in it. The crack never went into the base. These ones up at Lincolnville, just on the west side of the elevator entrance, we did the same thing. That crack is only in the asphalt. It is not down in the base. So if trees were causing a moisture sucking problem, and that's what was taking the moisture out of the base on us, then theoretically, I'm not going to say it's always going to happen, but theoretically, the base should have cracked too, where we're only seeing a crack in the asphalt. We've been up there a couple times here this fall. We were going to seal those cracks, and we still are going to seal those cracks. But right now, with the heat of the summer, they are tight. We cannot get anything in them right now. We need about a week of cool nights, not necessarily freezing, but cool nights where that crack will open back up so we can get some material in there. Right now, if they stay just like this, we're not going to get any moisture into them because they're sealed up tight. I mean, they're touching. The tree theory, just to give you an idea, that project was 4.5 miles long there on 290th, which was a little over 2,300 feet in length. And measuring it out, there's over 4,000 lineal feet of trees adjacent to one side or the other of that 4.5 miles. So almost a mile worth of trees. Yet the only place we have cracks is right there at between the ag entrance and Wichita Street in Lincolnville.
There's 3 or 4 others.
They're starting to develop a little bit.
There's more than just that right by west of the track.
I know there's a couple on to the west on that upslope of that hill that we're starting to see just a little bit.
I think there's 4 or 5.
We're going to keep continuing to watch that, and if we see a crack in it like that, we're going to seal it for you. Terracon, APAC, Pearson, we've had them all come take a look at those over the years. And since the base is not moving, there is no good logical explanation as to why that asphalt does that longitudinal crack in it. Because there's nothing underneath moving on us. We thought on 330th we had a soft shoulder. You know, we had moisture into that shoulder years ago, but when we dug it out, we checked it, Nuke checked it up there, and the base was still well over 100% compaction. And so it wasn't the base moving. I'd love to figure out why, because we don't have that problem hardly in any of the other counties. It's just here. It's the same thing we have with this water coming out of the limestone layers. It's not as prevalent in other locations. It happens in other counties that do have limestone shelves, but not as prevalent as it does here. I mean, my whole goal, I'm a taxpayer here too. I don't want the county to have to pay anything more, and I want everything done correctly. That's my whole goal every time we help out with a project. And I'm gonna continue to do that forever. And yeah, I'd like to figure out what's going on with some of these too. But
Does our warranty extend after on a patch, once they do that?
typically not, well, if in the next year those patches fail, we'll take care of them. It might not be the contractor, we might have to do it on our part. But cause typically once they hit their 12 months, unless it's a major redo. But these weren't major redos, cause once again, on that entire stretch, we did over 62,000 square yards of base and pavement, and 89 square yards failed. And 2 of those because of the pipes. So you're talking less than 0.1% failure rate. If major street projects in major urban areas had less than a 0.1% failure, they would be jumping up and down for joy. So anyway, the main reason I wanted to come in is just so that you guys knew we're taking care as best we can. And you know, if you guys want to see something more different and you still would like us to be involved, please let me know and we'll make sure if we do up the spec, anytime there will be more money involved to complete at a different spec. So we've always tried up front when we're planning these projects in conjunction with, over the last 10, 15 years here, that we present that happy medium to you guys of risk versus reward. What cost can you guys afford to do for what might or might have some challenges out there on the backside. And like I said, if we need to change that, we will. I want to make sure we get it right.
I just want to say I appreciate everything you do for the county, Darren. Like you say, if you got a less than 1%.
Less than 0.1%.
Less than 0.1% failure rate, I think you're doing a great job.
Well, and on the other project, it was 0.2% with, because there wasn't as much asphalt out there on the other one. So. But I would love to do a project in my career. I've been doing civil engineering now for 93, so 32 years.
Is that what that K-State sticker said?
What, 93 or 32 years? Long time. And in that entire time, I have yet to ever have one single project come out perfect. There's something on every project that we had to tweak, change, or go back and fix after the fact because something failed that you had no idea was there.
Long as human beings are involved, you're never gonna have a perfect one.
Yeah.
As long as Earth is involved.
So, I mean, we do our best. And we caught on several of those pipes up there that they had to be better compacted. During construction, we made them dig out a couple of them. This one, well, the two, just for whatever reason, they still, and I still contend it's probably to do with that extra water we've got coming off the rock shelves. So.
And it doesn't help that we've had an abnormally wet year this year.
Well, and actually that probably helped us this year because we found them. We found them within the 12 months. And it wasn't, we had the contractor come back in.
If we had a dry year, it may not have shown up for 2
Right,
years.
if they didn't show up till year 3,
Most,
the county would've been
most
on it.
ideal would be to put them culverts in a year ahead of time.
Yeah, but then you're living with a patch you're really gonna fill.
For it to stand up for the next 50 years.
So,
May I ask a question about something else before you leave? Sorry.
Lordy.
It's about the concrete
Uh-huh.
parking. I was talking with Darren about that, and I wasn't sure what your amendment was or your alternate was. I was confused by what you wanted an alternate to be for the concrete parking.
Extending to the east?
Yeah,
Is that what
can
you're
you?
talking about? Okay.
Yeah,
If we're gonna pour concrete out here, that's, what's it gonna cost to do it all at one time and have an approach in from the,
To do some kind of aisle all the way from
away from the road to.
okay. If I wish I had a good picture. You don't have that picture, do you? Anyway,
Sorry.
where we have, okay, so the depth of the concrete that's out there now, those parking spaces out there now, goes to the back end of the vehicle plus a little bit more, okay? And that's what we program, or when we kind of drew up to get a quote, was that same depth of the additional we'd add toward and away from the building. If somebody's gonna drive in on a concrete aisle and wanna get to, say, the far, like a delivery, or you're to the far right-hand side or into one of the left-hand ADA spaces, do you want to add enough extra concrete so they never have to leave concrete, or an aisle in so that they drop back on rock and then go back on concrete? Because that would make a difference if we have to add just an aisle or whether we have to add some more full width going back. I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
and that's what I wasn't sure what your intention was, so I didn't have the appropriate information to share with him.
What would for simplicity's sake, so what you're planning on doing now?
Just making it the same.
Leaving the dirt path to get there and leaving it that. Say we do that whole other piece again.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking double the cost, right?
Well, no, actually you would be, because there's more, because we have a chunk left out of it right now. Right now, we're only adding the pieces on the north and south of what's there.
I'm just trying to think of mobilization, all these things.
You'll save some mobilization, but the most of that quote that we presented from the contractor was purely square yard cost of material, concrete base removal.
Because we could divide that up, if doing it double over again.
Yeah. Now, you probably wouldn't have to.
Same, because the mobilization is more in the first piece, but there's less concrete in the first piece, so it technically would be double.
Yeah, I
divide that up and then figure out how far.
And would you need to go as deep again? No, probably not. You only need about another 20 feet for people to make a turn to get in, and if it's not bad weather conditions, they can cut across the rock.
More of it is more like connector blocks in my mind, I guess, right? So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna keep the rock, but then we wanna add more parking over there.
What I can do is I can go back and draw those in and give you square yard area increases and give you a rough idea based on the.
That's what I was just looking for, just some options.
Just some options to keep, okay.
Keep going.
Okay,
Not that we,
I'll have those by your next meeting, which is.
not that we would do that, but
I didn't know what to be in the end of the month.
again, saving mobilization costs. And
I'll take a look back at that quote.
We might as well do it all.
then we'll do it all.
No.
I offered that once, I don't know that I'm gonna offer it again.
That's fine, perfect. Okay, I'll go back and take a look.
Give some options to.
Yes, I'll give you options with building more into it.
Yeah.
We have a meeting on the 27th and then in the morning of the 31st.
I will have it to you for that you can bring in here on the 27th. Now, can I be here? I will check my calendar, I'm not sure, but if I can be here, I'll come. Is it morning or afternoon on 27th?
Afternoon.
Afternoon, okay. I'll check my calendar, if I can be here, I'll come get you something on, for more building block stuff. This time I'll have a pretty picture for you.
The other thing before you leave,
Well, it might not be pretty, but I'll have a picture for you.
I do appreciate everything you do, and nobody really takes in all the times that you come in here pre-construction, and we don't get a bill for that.
Yeah.
And it's
It from that regard, my office being 2 blocks away or one in Hillsborough, you know, there's no extra time for me to come present stuff to you, and that's, I think it works out, it's a good mutual relationship, so I just hope I can actually be helpful.
there's so many more dollars that could be spent if we were constantly calling for a consultant. So,
All right, anything else?
Thank you for your thoughts.
Okay. Thank you, and I'll get something back to you this week too.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate the clarification. 'Cause I
When do you
wasn't-
need it to put in the packet?
Typically, the packets will go out
Yesterday.
Friday afternoon.
I'll have it to you 2 days ago then.
you know how this world works.
Friday, I'll have it to you by Friday morning.
Okay, thank
That,
you.
that way you got something to put in there.
That'd be great.
It won't have the cost dollars on it, but it'll definitely be areas where we can take a look next Monday then and see if that, so I can make sure when we're looking at costs, that I'm getting the right thing for you. So,
Thanks for clarifying all that, because I was a little bit confused.
thanks a lot, thank you.
Thank you, Darren.
All right, thank you very much.
Almost.
Right on time.
I had really wanted this one on there, and this goes back to what BG Consultants had brought to us, and maybe like shaving down that building or shaving out pieces and just getting what we need for right now. And really asked Cody to show up and give us a breakdown, since Cody did give Mike kind of some options on a different format. I wanted him to look at what we had from BG and see if we could just put a shell there, like a couple concrete spaces. Maybe the rest of you could kick off ideas on
Just for road and bridge.
yeah. Can't, I mean, we need to do something, but how much do we need to do?
I think that'd be appropriate to start, make a spot for road and bridge, make it capable of, if we need to finish it out, the whole thing at some point.
So, and I had invited him, I just seen him in the hallway,
He's here.
just walked away. So,
You want me to?
yeah.
I had a conversation with him from when I think you met with him there last week too. I think there's a very workable, something that we can do that we can afford for now. Work on in the future if there's.
You're fine, I just want to make sure and let you out.
Some of the people that called about the lake, did you have them call me too? I know. My area, I guess.
Got tied up, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
His phone rang just about like mine.
He knows you're ready.
Yeah. He's not charging us to be. Cody, I already spilled the beans, you might as well take the sauce seat, give us some advice.
Okay.
So, I'm telling them that I kinda hit up you about looking at our BG drawing and maybe coming up with a few different options, price ranges, what we'd be in for, what we could do now and still have room for later. Just what your expert advice would be on something.
Sure, so I reviewed the cost breakdown that BG had provided to you guys, and I really kind of skimming through that for what they provided and everything, I felt like he's probably not out of line, you know, for the stage that you're at right now. I didn't see anything that jumped out to me that should be drastically different. And then just as far as other options out there, you know, you could potentially not finish out the EMS side of things and do that at a later date. Would save probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 to $75 a square foot, maybe. Depending on what level you go to, you know, how far do you take the electrical service over there? I mean, do you literally leave it what we refer to as a cold dark shell, with no power, no nothing, just the outside of the building to weather protect it? That could be an option, as well as, you know, you could also look at just a building with a roof on it, to where we could build it in a way that you could add on as you go, as needed. We could put the footings in the building up, and then you could make the end walls expandable, so you could add on to each end, as well as potentially add a lean-to onto that down the road. You could potentially do the lean-to out of wood frame construction or something like that. And the other option would be even cheaper than that, potentially wood framed, you know, your standard post frame construction is typically considerably less than pre-engineered metal building. So that's kind of my 2 cents worth. I don't know where you're headed with what level you want to go to another direction, but another aspect to that is the site work. I don't really know what the site work would take. I've never put my eyes on this site. I don't know if it's going to require a lot of fill or a lot of cut. How far are the utilities going to be from the building? Are they relatively close, or do we have to go a long ways? Those kind of things. That's always the biggest unknown, is the site work.
Here's just where my thoughts are, but it's do the PMB, the pre-engineered metal building, footings around the whole thing, and 2 concrete base with the roll-up doors and the doors that are drawn, the walk-in doors, everything as part of the pre-engineered metal building. Do you have and a cold dark shell? Do you have a dollar amount that comes in?
Without a slab?
With only a slab, where the
road and bridge would be at?
Where the one bay.
The building itself with the doors are probably, and the slab on that side is probably somewhere in the neighborhood. Is that with electricity, or you said cold dark?
Cold dark shell, just somewhere to house, gotta get moved.
Yeah, probably $50 to $60 a square foot, and that would not include the site. So your utilities, a building pad, any dirt work, any exterior paving, anything of that would get you the building, would get you the footings, should get the doors, and get it insulated.
50. We're looking at 5,000 square foot building. Right? Is that what that building was?
I don't
50
remember
by
the square
100?
footage.
Yeah, it's 5,000.
Yeah.
Vaughn, we mean no fun.
So you have footings, building. How many doors were there
Oh, there was
on the bridge side?
One drive-through.
It's 3,
there's 3, but I really think there ought to be 4. You just drive through,
Yeah, both of them.
well, we had one drive-through bay and
and then one was a pickup bay.
one pickup bay, so there was a total of 5 roll-up doors.
But plus you had the EMS side that had roll up on each side.
Yeah, but That would be 6 roll-up
So
doors.
why would you build the shell now and not wait till later?
Just for cost. Just pay for what we need to now, on top of, we got other parts of the other department we need to get on steady ground before we.
I mean, why wouldn't we just build a building with road graders?
We could do that. I would,
And then make it so you can add on to it later.
that might be cheaper now, but it might be more expensive long-term,
We will be, yeah.
so.
And
We don't have any money now.
But what's a high-end, grade work for something like that? Just say it's gonna take out 3-4 feet of fill to pull that out.
I mean, just
Back.
for the pad, I can guess at that, but it's all a matter of how much are we gonna cut and have to haul off or stockpile, or how much do we have to bring in? And where is that dirt coming from? And, that's $1 million question right there. I can tell you about what a pad is gonna cost with like a 2-foot or 18-inch LVC pad. Is probably,
We can get dirt out of the back, can't we?
Well, we got 5 acres to
Across the far end.
spread it around.
You can't haul it in, I mean.
Yeah. But if the compaction is needed, then we gotta bring in.
Waste.
I mean, that side, I think looking at it had some elevations on there. I think you're looking at maybe in that 100-foot span, you may be looking at about a 1 foot.
Fill or cut?
Well,
Probably have to cut a couple feet, but
cut,
fill back 3.
cut.
would you be able to just stockpile it on site?
You can start, yeah, there's no,
Well, that won't be too bad then. A 1.5, 18-inch, building pad is probably gonna run you somewhere around $20,000 to $25,000.
Below 300,000 this way.
yeah, that's what I was just figuring, so. And that would give us the shell and the doors, even if it was,
It may be just a tick more with that many doors, if you're gonna end up with 5 doors total. What was the eave height on that? Anybody remember that?
14 feet sidewall, I think.
So we'd have probably a
I think it was-
12-foot door.
it was 18-foot sidewall.
But I think we were just to accommodate the 12 or 14 foot door.
How many doors total?
Road and bridge side would have been 1, 2, 3, 4,
6 doors total.
5, 6 big doors. And then 1 standard garage door, like 7 by 8.
I think we pared it down to having 1 drive-through bay on the road and bridge side and 1, just so they could get across ventilation.
With that many doors, I'd probably go 60 to 75, maybe.
So that pushed, that's
Plus your building flat.
that's putting it up about,
Plus the 25, 30,000 pad.
You want to quote?
Yeah, if it's relatively flat and we're not cutting out 3 or 4 foot.
I mean, it's,
Filling 3 or 4 foot, and you're talking around a foot, give or take.
yeah, 18 inches is max,
So we're looking at
of cut. Well, and it's half that because it's, I mean,
It's slow.
it's slope and it,
Right, okay.
so even at that, we're looking at 400,000 if you're talking at $75 a square foot for the doors.
So we're looking at 300 to 400,000, depending on specifics. What about another avenue that makes more sense dollar wise? Like
Post frame construction.
post frame.
My building's post frame construction and I expect it to last 50 years, so. I mean, after 10
Yeah,
years.
I mean, we've been building, we provide that option, just for that reason, cause, you know, there's a lot of people that don't like the price tag on a pre-engineered metal building. And, you know, there's a lot of innovations in that industry. So like I tried to sell, the precast posts, and I believe we did that, Tina, on the,
Out at the lake.
out at the lake. Those precast columns, so you don't have wood in the ground. And
And you're less likely to have a hired hand snap a post.
yeah, we can make them taller too.
That would probably,
And you're
Half the
probably
cost.
saving, yeah.
The thing about that is with that type of construction, if we put in doors on the front side for now, you could go back in and pull
Add your
that up,
doors easy.
add a door easily.
because your purlins aren't that hard to cut out.
They're not, it's not,
Or whatever.
that would give you more options down the road if we wanted to put, we could put doors on the front for now
You
and
just put the doors in you need and skin the whole thing.
Right, and the other nice thing about it is it can be put in place quickly. Yeah. You're gonna be waiting 12 weeks on a pre-engineered metal building, and we can get the materials for a post frame in 2.
and if you're like the guys that put mine up, they could put it up in 2.
Yeah, we can put up a 40 by 60 and pour the concrete in it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Tina's been sitting quiet over here, and I can tell there's something rolling around in that head.
There's always things swirling. If you did go this route, I mean, you haven't talked about electric or plumbing. I mean, you would have to have something potentially out there. Because the whole idea wouldn't it be to plug in those graders or
Conceive if you've got them inside, there's no reason to, if you've got an inside an insulated building, they're not gonna get cold enough.
Need restrooms?
Porta John's pretty cheap.
Huh?
Porta John's pretty cheap at that point.
but then how difficult is it to add it later because are you thinking you're never gonna add it?
Well, I'm thinking we'll leave the floor, we'll only concrete parts of the floor we
We
need.
have it all roughed in.
And then you,
I hope so, yeah.
you don't,
So you're not talking about putting concrete on the whole floor?
no, just where it's gonna be, definitely gonna be concrete. Bay or something, or 2, and the rest would be open. It makes it more challenging to dig it in your under slab roughings later,
Right.
but it's still doable, you're not blowing out concrete to do it. Would we
If
have
you
to do
save-
that on a post frame? Could we, I've never seen a post frame that didn't get all or nothing concrete, I guess.
We've been putting a lot of concrete in them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you go post frame and you're going with a cheaper building cost, maybe you could go ahead and
You
afford
could
to put the
afford it.
plumbing.
You could afford
electrical.
to rough in the
Under slab.
under slab, you could put the conduit in to run that in later, I'm assuming without too much problem.
Rough ends, and that would still be,
You can still do the rough in and have it fairly close to what we needed
Yep.
and make it work. And still be,
Yeah, we could sleeve, well, you really aren't gonna be sleeving anything, cause you don't have a footing. You know, we would potentially, I think it would be probably good practice in this situation to have a thickened edge all the way around, maybe a foot. And then maybe something a little bit thicker at your door where you're gonna be bringing in heavy equipment. And you may wanna go with
Apron.
well, that and as well, put rebar in the slab in lieu of wire. And maybe go up to a 8-inch slab instead of a 6-inch slab.
but that's something, I mean, is that something that we could,
Kinda at the point, we've got the concept drawing. Kinda at the point where I think we need to go to the field design and just, and let's have an option here, and let's maybe make a choice and move forward.
I agree, cause that's something that you would be willing to be able to do for us on site. You can go out and look at it and say,
The dirt's still a little of that, but at least go out there and look at it, and as long as I know kind of what you're looking for, we can back into that.
That's just my opinion. I'd like to move forward with a GC that, and let's
I
get some
would too.
cost-effective options and make something.
It gets stuff, gives them a site to work with. Like I said, if you've got an insulated building that the graders are inside, closed up,
It's road and bridge anyway, so deal with it.
I don't think you have to have. And it may be something that if we go with a post frame, we may be able to afford to run basic electricity to it. And just, have at least.
How big of a building would you put in if you went post frame? Do you feel like we would have a limitation on width? That's one disadvantage.
Stick with
See, you're looking at maxing out at 60 foot wide on a.
Well, we're looking at 50 feet.
Okay.
It's 50 by 100 is what we're looking for. That's all the bigger we need. So if we're good with a 50-foot post frame, we should be good. I wouldn't.
Mine's a 50 by 130, so.
The length is no problem.
Yeah.
But with the post frame, we can always add on to it.
Yeah, you can put lean-tos on.
Yeah.
To get some extra space. To add that on later, real easy.
On this bid here, he's got 200,000 for concrete and dirt work.
But there's a lot of concrete in that.
Yeah.
And
Didn't say how much.
That's something that we need to have we have to do something more formally. We're gonna ask him to provide us a couple different options.
do we need to put a package together and send it out to several contractors and say, this is what we're looking at?
A request for applications or something.
If we want to request for it to be on building.
Something like this, I don't believe you do. If you're just looking to have someone consult and give you those options.
I don't wanna say that, we're gonna give you this.
Oh, no,
And I don't want you to do something that you expect that, but, if we need to put a package together and send it out to 3 or 4 different contractors and say, this is what we're looking for.
kind
give
of
us-
Are you required to do that? No. Is that often kind of best practice? It usually is, in terms of just the political side of things. But if what you're looking for is just, look, it's someone that we work with regularly, we're just looking for some basic options to see if they're even financially viable and something we want to consider. And using someone that we've used historically a number of times for that purpose on a limited expenditure basis, you can do that. You would want to formalize that we're asking for that. And I don't know what Cody's thought is in terms of cost for something like that, but.
Less than $1 million.
Or if he's just gonna do that because he likes you.
Well, I'll just throw this out there. What I like to do in a situation with what you're in right now is, I would probably charge some kind of a fee to put something together, but then if we moved forward with construction, it would be included.
Credited in. Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
What's a formal action, I should say?
Just basically ask to instruct that he provide some bid alternatives based upon the discussion here today. It doesn't have to be anything too complex, as long as he understands what it is you're looking for.
So make a motion to instruct NF Construction to provide a few proposals for us with an associated fee that would be absorbed.
Well, I don't know how fair it is, but can we get a not to exceed figure, do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That way you're not just going, well, it's an open-ended deal. If it's $500,000, we just spent it. I don't want to get into that. So.
I've seen that happen before. I wouldn't stop. I don't see it happening here, but yeah, you're right. So what, number not to exceed, what do you got in mind to provide your service?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that, cause I'd want it to be fair, so.
Maybe we can do it
Action,
next,
do it next week.
meeting.
Okay.
Could you get something back to us in 2 weeks? Just a,
For the,
not the finished product, but just say, you know, for $5,000, I'll give you a range of options and costs associated with this,
yeah, I can do that.
and then we can.
I can have it pretty quick.
and we can
Yeah, so
approve
just
that.
let me know when you have it, and then I'll get it on the agenda.
Yeah.
So, but within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Okay.
So I will withdraw my motion.
I'll be back in 2 weeks then.
And you know where the site's at if you wanted to go out and look at it?
Roughly, it's on the north side of 50, right?
Just go past
Right at the
Middle,
bridge.
just go on past Middle Creek Corporation. It's a lot in between two houses to the north of the highway.
On the west side, right?
That road. There's some steel fence posts that mark the boundary. And that, did you give them the site
Show
plan?
you an aerial.
You had before, that's what.
I mentioned about what you're saying, north on that road, but you can't get there from the highway.
Yeah.
You have to go into the pass.
Turns to Sausage House.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I thought.
Half a mile.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you can call me and I can meet you out there.
Okay. Okay.
Where it's at and give you, I do know that there was an old farmstead on the south side of that
Next to the trees.
lot, just north of the trees, it's been buried, so there's a fill issue there, but I think there's enough room that we could move it north to miss that.
Yeah. Can you have it built by December?
If you went post frame, maybe.
Next December.
No, we got till this December.
Okay, well, I'll come up with a proposal to propose,
Okay.
with a fee associated with that, and, plan to be at the next commission. 2 weeks. Right, yeah, 2 weeks.
Really cut it short.
I mean, we could do 1 week if you
And
want.
then we gotta get done in 8 weeks.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Emergency management has a nice light unit for you.
So Cody can have the basket.
Take care of the personnel.
Let's see, need 2 executive sessions, one on potential litigation, one on real estate acquisition. Depending on which one you do, I can specify time. The only other thing I'd mention is I sent over, and it doesn't have to be something that you do today, your juror fees resolution, whenever you wish to take action on that, consistent with what you had determined and instructed. It doesn't go into effect the way I did it until January 1. So it's not like you're under the gun here. Just for your information.
Basically, had already talked about that, right? And directed that you create that.
Yeah, and so it's done consistent with what you indicated. Stayed with the $10 for just the first day report. If they're impaneled, it goes to 25 thereafter on a regularly docketed case.
I can put that in your packet for next week for
Yeah.
action if you want,
Okay.
or if you don't wanna do it today.
Just put it in the packet, so the public has a chance to
Yeah.
see what's going on and review it and address that next week. I'm good with that.
Forward with, but yeah, he's probably right. Give him a week to digest it.
Yeah, it was really informational for you, so.
Okay, so you, let's see. Are you wanting it this way with this, or do you want this one under?
I got time to go to the bathroom?
Yes.
Let's do it. Here, and then, in this case, cross out preliminary since we're making a separate motion.
Yeah. Wait, I gotta give you a hall pass, Mike.
This is fine.
Give you a hall pass.
Just do it under.
Yep, that's right, the way it is. this one.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
10 minutes. The board, you and I.
Okay.
I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss property acquisition pursuant to KSA 75-4319. For item number 6, for preliminary discussion of acquisition of real estate, the board, Brad, Tina, for 10 minutes until 3:07, with open session to resume back in commission chambers following closed session. Second. All those in favor? Aye. 4-0. Out of executive session, no decisions made. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss potential litigation pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item number 2, for consultation with our attorney in matters deemed privileged under attorney-client privilege with the board, Brad, Tina, for 15 minutes until 3:25, with open session to resume back in commission chambers following the closed session. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0. Out of executive session, no decisions made. All you got? Commission comments?
Out of the letters filed by some of the township trustees to ban the windmills, is that number 4 or 5, or am I thinking wrong?
I know of 2.
Two.
I know of 2.
Can we make a motion or resolution to ban wind farms in them 2 townships then, if that's the sole, or there's not ever another argument whether they have them or not?
You never. Comments?
You're just asking a question, right?
Yes, we have the ability and authority to do so.
So if we want to consider that in the future, is that something we can discuss?
100%.
That way they're not concerned with ever getting them. We don't have to work around that any way, shape, or form. Or waste any discussion on that issue for them particular townships. And it could be reversed someday.
Moratorium. You got one now.
We got a moratorium.
Yeah.
We don't have a ban.
Would that be part of what the,
Population density. Those 2 townships fit into the population density.
yeah, would that be part of what the planning commission would take into consideration during their review
Yeah.
as an option to bring back?
Is it the 4 townships in the southwest
I
corner?
wasn't sure. I know we've had letters.
Well, we have a letter from 2, but I mean, you got opposition from out of 4 townships there.
I mean, if they're trustees, which are the people, they're representing the total population of the township. And we just, to end any more discussion, is just ban them in them particular townships. And it takes us away from any further
Worth considering.
discussion. And if that makes them happy in them townships and their people, and if they get new trustees or something, maybe it can be reversed. I mean, I think there would be an option for that. It would just eliminate any further demise, neighbor against neighbor type of thing if we go one way or the other. If the townships individually want this, or the density thing comes into play,
That's something I would consider, let's ban them and we eliminate any further discussion or disruption over just a question or thought that I think we should consider. But that's just what I would like to see possibly, or at least looked at if that's legal possible. They would agree to. It's
Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's it. In favor? 5-0.
I'm